Hey everyone, welcome back to Clinical Trials Talk.
Hi guys, Luke here.
And Gabriel.
And welcome back to another session.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about today?
Well, I want to talk about patient diaries. And I'm not talking about Dear Diary. Today I went to the park. Different type of diary, I think.
Okay.
So in a clinical trial, there's two types of ways that information can be collected. So the first type, which you guys are probably familiar with, is that a researcher might, take your blood pressure or do something else like that, take some measurement of you, and then they'll be reporting that and recording that onto some kind of form. The other way that people can give information is from you, the person being part of the clinical trial. And these are usually done through patient diaries. So what I mean by that is that people get a logbook to take home, and every day they might be asked to fill out, certain questions like, say, did I take my medication today, or did I have a headache today, or what kind of foods did I eat today? There's all kinds of information, and it's going to depend very heavily on the trial. But in a sense, it's something that's more participant directed, in that you're the one that's providing the information rather than a trained researcher who will be collecting certain data.
Yeah. So often what will happen as well is they'll be collecting information, whether or not you've taken the investigational product, and maybe even wanting to know what time you've taken it. I've been on a study once before myself,
mm-hmm.
and I got given a diary.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was expected to fill out every time I, did this, that, or the other,
mm-hmm.
and I wasn't very compliant, and that was bad. Okay, I've seen a lot of data as well over the years in clinical trials where people just haven't filled it in.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing to do. Our industry's obviously trying to become more understanding of people. There's new e-diaries now that help to remind people to actually fill them out. You can get them. Sometimes you can just get them on your phone.
And they're a lot more convenient as well, because if they're on your phone, you don't have to lug a book around and a pen or whatever. You just kind of open up an app and fill in the questions on that. Yeah.
Except you can't fill them out right before you go back to the site, which is better anyway. You don't want to be doing that. So it's better to have a reminder. So and often the diary stuff is like super important for the clinical trial.
Yeah. Often they don't give out diaries unless it is something that they're really interested in.
Yeah, and so you could make or break a clinical trial from actually whether it's a waste of time them doing all the work on it
mm-hmm.
by just not being compliant, filling out the diary.
That's right. So that's not to say that you should be putting results.
It wasn't that bad, by the way, when I had a problem.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
But I just wanted to say it's when we say that the data, the clinical trial is reliant on the data that you're giving, that's absolutely not to say that you should be making up data in favor of, saying, oh yeah, this is working really well, when it's actually not.
You've got to be really compliant with it and take it really seriously.
Yeah, it's important to be consistent and just to be honest. I think that's the two best things that you can probably do.
100%, that's the best policy. You'll find adverse events. People, when I say that, they might ask you, have you had any health issues since the last visit,
mm-hmm.
things like
mm-hmm.
that. So, you might say, oh, well, I've had a headache, or,
or
I tripped over and fell on the floor and cut my leg open,
mm-hmm.
or I had to go to hospital, had a major drama, whatever.
Yeah.
They also might ask you what other products you might be taking, if you're on any other medications, or even natural therapies are becoming more of a thing now. People wanting to know about that.
True.
So it could be a number of things.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably with the paper ones, it's I remember monitoring a number of clinical trials a while back now.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you've got paper diaries, people are very compliant, and probably even overly compliant, and then they start writing essays on it.
I see what
telling you all sorts, which is better more than less. It just means from a monitor's point of view, you have to look at more things.
Yeah.
And some of that could have been captured probably in the discussion with the site. You often might capture all that extra potential stuff.
Which can be really valuable.
It can be,
Yeah.
but then again, sometimes it's not, and it's not necessarily as directed. So you might want to just have, okay, what are the things that have happened to you, and what have happened there. But when a trial site gives you one of these, and you're a participant on a study, they really need to be very clear about what they're expecting from you.
Yeah.
So you should be asking a lot of questions if they haven't been clear about it.
Yeah, that's right. If you're unclear on what they mean by adverse events, or do they just want you to record all the minor ones, or if you coughed once or twice, do they want you to record that as well? If you're unclear, it's definitely talk to the investigator and find out exactly what they want.
Exactly.
Now, I wanted to say I have seen some diaries which ask for an excessive amount of information.
Can happen.
So, like there might be, I remember one study where they wanted you to count how many times you go to the toilet, and every time you go to the toilet, you have to fill in, something or other.
Yeah.
And
Don't you already count that?
well,
Anyway.
I haven't had to do that. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
But there's some diaries that really kind of, I
can
feel
be
like they
cool.
ask for too much.
It
And
depends on the project, right? So sometimes that might be really important for the project. Sometimes it might not be. So more often than not, researchers will try to do something that's really practical, and they get what's needed.
Yes.
I've seen some things in the past as well that from some researchers where they are collecting too much information, they don't really know why they're collecting it. So, I don't want to say who they were.
No,
or
of
that
course
were,
not. It's just
but
something to think about.
I think traditionally speaking, they like to say academics like to get a lot more than they need.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, that's a bad one on the academics. But then again, look, they might want to get more value out of the research. Maybe, let's see, it's important to be very specific about what you're trying to achieve. And most research projects pretty much will focus on one hypothesis, the testing,
that's right.
with a couple of other ones.
So the more focused you are, the better chance you have of detecting that one thing. If you spread resources too thin,
Well, if
you
you're
find
just
nothing.
collecting a whole lot of data,
Right.
it's a waffle.
Right.
It can be a waffle.
Right.
You
That's right.
So-
That's right. So I guess while you're doing the study, and even during the informed consent process, if there is a diary component, I think you can ask to see the diary, can't you? And just
Well, you should see it beforehand. You should
Yeah,
be able to understand what you're getting involved
okay,
with. So
okay.
before you sign up, and if there's a diary involved, I'd say, show me what the diary is.
Yeah.
Show me the diary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully that was interesting for you guys.
Hopefully, if
yeah.
you've got a doozy of a diary, let us know
Yes.
if you're allowed to share it.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, but not with all the info on it.
No, just the questions.
Yeah,
that
were there
they've
funny
reflected.
questions
Yeah.
that get asked that you thought was a bit over the top?
Mm.
Yeah. Or have you been given a diary to fill out without any explanation? Has it just been put in a little wallet and given to you and said, there you go, you got to fill out the diary there and all that?
Mm.
How was the description? Was it well done? Could it have been done better? All that sort of stuff.
Let us know.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks for watching.
And join us next time. Hit like and subscribe, share with all your good friends and family if you'd like to.